The following podcast is scheduled for one fall with no time limit.
Super hot fire!
The greatest spectacle in podcast entertainment, Mr. Nestlemania.
That was literally verbal diarrhea. I'm setting the bar awfully low. Titus O'Neil keeps running directly into that bar. Get him off my TV, get him off my TV. You make me very angry.
The man who has a better IQ than you, the awe-inspiring JC.
You should go work for WWE because you'd be so far up Vince's butt.
No.
Oh, you are such a sucker.
You
You defend everything, all the bad moves they make.
This is the Jobber Knocker Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Jobber Knocker Podcast. As always, I'm Nestlemania. Alongside for the ride is JC. We are now in the go-home edition of Elimination Chamber. Sorry, lost my voice.
Big guy?
Yeah, I think I just blew my load right out of the gate. Look, this week was very interesting. A lot of hot button issues.
So, Raw was very, very bad except for literally one thing. And we're going to get to that because I am super fucking excited.
Yeah.
But we have to start with the biggest shine of the week, and that is boom, boom, boom. SOS. He's Jamaican. He's African. He's
You're making
a million
me
different
crazy.
things. Kofi Kingston. And the first time this man has probably been featured as a legitimate threat in years. Gauntlet match. Replaces Mustafa Ali, who unfortunately is injured with a concussion, which sucks. But Kofi filled in admirably. He was an Iron Man. Almost went start to finish. Wrestled for over an hour. And it ended in the perfect fashion with Orton out of nowhere, RKOing Styles, working for about 15 seconds. When
Actually, I'll tell you right now, I did the math. So it was like, I think they said 61 something for Kofi, right? Mm-hmm. And it was literally, I'm not exaggerating, from him coming into frame to black, 23 seconds.
Yeah, 'cause it
23 seconds for Randy Orton.
They must have been so nervous. Like, holy crap, is this all going to get on TV?
Yeah.
But I thought it was perfect. It was
yeah.
perfect. Start to finish. That Iron Man match was fun. It was everything about it was good. Everyone involved did a good job. Kofi was the star. And now, all of a sudden, like, you found a way to take a guy who wasn't even part of this match, wasn't seen as a threat, and you made him one of the biggest threats in this match in one episode.
Oh, yeah.
They can't do this for like a year with some people.
Yeah.
And they did it in an hour with Kofi Kingston.
It was pretty good. I was very shocked that he beat Daniel Bryan right out of the gate. That was a nice little touch. And of course, we get to the next part, which was Jeff Hardy. I don't really care. I don't really care. Hey, you know what's funny? It's not. It's just I know I get on this program. I'm like, okay, Jeff Hardy, whatever. But god damn it, do I watch that and go, stop wrestling? Like, literally, he is a candidate to get off my TV. He is. He really is, because I watch him. And then we get to the next part where I was like, okay, he beat Hardy. Not a big, giant surprise, because it was like, okay, whatever. Then Joe came out. He caught him. Listen, as much as we joke about Samoa Joe and how when the bell rings, we're kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for the Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 7 sleeper, flip over, pin thing. Like, I always love that because nobody pulls it out. And so when it happened, I was like, okay, I'll buy that. And then, of course, then he train wrecks him in and out. And then, of course, here comes AJ Styles, which, again, I was kind of like, oh, here he comes and, like, helps and then makes him feel good. But the one part of it that I was just like, yeah, give me that, was him like, I've been waiting for 11 years for this. I don't care if I'm tired. I want to fight you. And I was like, where's that Kofi? Where's that Ben?
I love it.
It was great. It was absolutely great. Of course, yeah, and then AJ beat him. But it was just like, that whole hour, I was like, man, did they make a contender out of you?
They did.
They really did.
It was phenomenal.
So let me ask you this question. When you're watching, if you could substitute in your brain that Ali wasn't hurt and Ali did exactly what Kofi did, would that be far more impressive, less impressive, or nothing?
I think it would be impressive, but I don't know if they would have done it like this.
Okay.
I think they would have had him go deep, but I feel like I don't know if I think they just, the reason why they made this decision is just like, okay, well, we're in a tough spot now because we got to replace someone. How do we put someone in there and give them a showing? You know? Because I feel like they've probably realized pretty quickly, like by Wednesday, that Mustafa is going to be out of this match. So they had time to think, how do we get someone in there? So I don't know if ever he was in the thought, but I think it still would have been good. But I think the fact it was someone that we know is good that never gets featured anymore made it so much more special, because it made us remember why we love Kofi Kingston so much.
Yeah.
He's not just the joke New Day with goddamn pancakes and cereal and
a big giant kielbasa?
yeah, well,
It was a man meat right there.
a lot of man meat on Big E.
That was disgusting, by the way. I'm Polish and I love a good kielbasa, but goddamn it, was that too big and weird? It really was. It was just like kids touching a big kielbasa was fucking weird.
Yeah, we've
gone off the rails. Let's get to the big part that you want to celebrate.
Say yeah, the co-shine of the week, the Revival. Finally, are the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, and it's not only that. This show on Raw fucking sucked. The first 2 hours of the show was like the worst, literal worst. But then the Revival and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable put on a tag team wrestling clinic. I enjoyed this match start to finish. It was a lawn match, but I thought they did a good job. The big reason why for me is why I like the Revival is you saw it in this match. Every time I watch them, they use different tag team moves. Like, they're not one-trick ponies. Like, everyone, like, they have their regular moves, sure. But they always bring out something else because they're always working on their craft. And they're always, like, doing moves that they've picked up from other teams. And it's just, it always feels fresh with them because we've seen this match, like, 10 times now?
Right.
But it didn't feel as rerunny as most of these other rerunning matches on Raw because they find ways to make it different. And goddamn, the Revival and Chad Gable together are just, like, it's porn. It's great.
Porn, you say?
Oh, it's wrestling porn.
Besides Roode, who was kind of like
Roode was fine.
He was fine. He did a serviceable job, but he was not. He was. If you had to ask one person to just stay away, it would have been him because the three of them put on a clinic, and it was just like, okay, Roode's here, but he did a good job. He really did. But Chad Gable was the superstar of that matchup. He ate everything. He took everything, and everything about it was crisp, crunchy, hearty. It was awesome.
Crunchy.
It was awesome. It was great, and I enjoyed it. And look, I didn't get to watch it live, so again, the notifications were killing me.
You got to turn that shit off, man, because I drove home from work around 10, so I just stopped watching. But then, like, I was playing catch up, so when I was watching the Revival thing, by the time I got through, like, because you fast forward the commercials, I was about on a 2-minute delay. But it was just such a moment. I literally leapt off my bed. I was so happy. I was just like, finally, because I was like, God, if they lose this, it's over. But it's like, finally, they have committed to an actual tag team that is really good, who now, like, I don't know if people always see, like, their promos, because a lot of them are WWE.com exclusives, and people don't always see that, but they can be very good promos, as, like, we joke about them being, like, the most generic-looking guys and whatever, but, like, especially Dawson, like, they can cut very good promos. Like, their delivery is good. They always have a good message. They stick to who they are as characters. So I'm excited now. We'll see if WWE puts their money where their mouth is with the tag team divisions, because now they have the right team on top, a nice heel, very good wrestling team, where they could make this tag team wrestling division, I think, be the staple wrestling on the Raw show, which is so filled with promos. I think the tag teams can set the bar for wrestling.
The bar. Look, here's the other thing, too, and I think we talked about this program, but I would get rid of one set of the male titles, because I think getting rid of those titles would help the male division.
I don't think it would hurt, yeah.
And then, of course, you have the women's tag division, so it can replace one or the other. You can have the women's on Raw, the men's on SmackDown or Raw, whatever you decide. Because then, for me, it's like, okay, now we don't need two men's. Well, then do we need two women's? No, of course not, because you don't have that amount of tag teams to really face it.
I don't think they're going to do that, unfortunately.
It's just,
I'd be fine.
There's too many.
I've always been a fan of, like, have the champions float to both shows.
Sure.
If you're a champion, you should be able to appear on any show. But they like the duplicate titles, which, whatever.
Everybody loves red. Everybody loves blue. Yeah. It's stupid. But anyway, whatever. I guess
McMiz TV.
Oh, you actually excited about this? Okay.
You didn't like the Usos were spitting super hot fire, and I thought, as uncomfortable as the Miz Shane babyface tag team is, I thought they held their own, at least in this segment. But this was all about the Usos, and man, like, I mean, we're gonna talk about this in our predictions in the finish, but like, the Usos, man, they're like the Revival. They're the type of team that you want on top of your division, setting the tone, setting the tempo, and being that team carrying you into WrestleMania. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Listen, I enjoyed McMiz TV. The only question I had in my head was, who's the babyface here? Because clearly the crowd was chanting for the Usos. But they then turned it around with the, tell me your favorite color, blah. Tell me my favorite minor league baseball team. You know, it was like, what do they call it? The Toledo Mud Hens?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, cheap pop. And then it was like, holy Toledo. I chuckled at that and I thought that was entertaining. And it's so much fun because you can see that they're having fun and then you're in on it. But then it got super serious. And then, of course, the crowd went back to the Usos. So in my head, I'm like, I know what they're doing, but I don't know if what they're doing is going to create the result in which they want. Because The Miz, if you got to look at it, I would imagine after all this is said and done, they want the Miz to be a full-fledged babyface.
Which is a scary thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we know before,
I think the timing now is way better than before because
sure.
Miz has gotten so organically over with the crowd, like over the past year and a half, 2 years, like since that WrestleMania, that where they were just going nuts for him against John Cena. Like since then, it's like he's been ready, but the Miz is just like the perfect heel. It's hard to do it. The nice thing is he can still bring out his character as a babyface, but it isn't the same.
No.
But I mean, again, they could easily pull the trigger on the Usos on Sunday, start the Miz and Shane breakup, get it over by Fastlane, give me Miz Bryan at Mania. Like, that'd be great. That was your hope. I hope it happens, but not optimistic about it because I think this feud here might drag to Fastlane, and Miz Shane is probably still penciled in for Mania. But you know what? We'll see. I thought this was a good segment. McMiz TV was a success.
He's always sweating. Shane McMahon is always sweating. He's always doing something. It's unbelievable, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I look at it and I go, why is he sweating? He hasn't done anything. It's just like, he's not nervous. He's a McMahon, but what are we doing? Like, what is it, right? So all of it makes, to me, like, it's fun. I shouldn't just shut up and be like, it needs to make sense, but it is fun. Like, and
if something's gonna like make me like question a little bit, make it really entertaining, and I'll let it go. And it did. But you know what else making you sweat? You know what else makes me sweat? Fire and Desire on both shows, much like the Iconics. # always in the shine. Mandy Rose, they got the great promo on Raw. Then on SmackDown, I thought the SmackDown triple threat was better than the Raw triple threat.
Oh God, yes.
Way better.
Way better.
And the best part about it was because when I'm seeing this stupid rule of triple threat, where the team who takes the pin has to come out first, why the fuck would you even participate in this match? Right. The Iconics, it's like Sasha and Bayley started to do it, but then Bayley got involved and wrestled the whole time.
Sure.
The Iconics literally tagged out immediately, and then when Mandy went to try to tag them in when Naomi came in, they ran away.
Sure, it was a good story.
Perfect. Like, that is what you should do. That is intelligent, because you can't get pinned if you're not in the fucking ring.
Yeah, it's a genius storyline. It worked. It had something, but like you said on Raw, it was like, okay, somebody got the bad the bad juju there, and it didn't work out for them. But again, you would expect the Hug and Boss connection to be in there the whole effing time anyway, because
that's the thing is that both these teams, like, I could see them letting these two teams just kind of lurk till the end.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I guess the way they look at it is like they feel like they're going to be their two workhorse teams of the match.
Scary thought to think that's going to. Here's the thing: do you think that's the main event? Has to be, right? It's a new title. Has to be the main event.
I think this is actually the show where the WWE Championship is going to be the main event for like the first time in forever.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Daniel Bryan Chamber goes last.
I would love to see the women's tag titles.
I think
this
it would be great. Is a good candidate to kick off the show.
Okay.
Because I think it would get people hot and bothered. Yeah, and I think you do have to separate them, but. I mean, now with like the 4-hour pay-per-views, they could put it in the second hour, so who the hell knows?
Well, since we've already talked about hot and bothered, we might as well get to the thing that maybe I thought I enjoyed, but everybody else got hot and bothered by, because I don't think there's much more stuff that you want to talk about shine-wise.
So it's something that came as an effect of what we're about to talk about.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I have to say, because Ray reminded me of this, and it has to be in the shine. Becky complimenting Finn's abs backstage. Come on, man. It's a layup. I literally compliment them on the podcast every week. Becky knows what's up. But Charlotte's heel promo on SmackDown was great. Love heel Charlotte. Yep. So now I guess we can get into it's heat because people are mad about it. Yes, but we're going to call it heat. So
look,
let's go. Piss everyone off, Nestle.
No. Look, let's hear it. I enjoyed this entire storyline.
Of course you did.
I loved it. I loved it because it made perfect sense. Here's what nobody wants to understand. They're sitting here and going, Vince McMahon doesn't listen to everybody. He doesn't listen to WWE Universe. You know what the Vince McMahon has to worry about? Putting money in people's pockets. You know what? Here's the thing that I love. I love Becky Lynch. I absolutely do. Is she going to be the hottest thing in wrestling when she beats Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania? Absolutely. Will she be strapped, the rocket, going flying by every universe? Absolutely. But until that point, here's the unfortunate, realistic truth for everybody here that needs to listen. Ronda Rousey is a household name. Ronda Rousey is. Becky Lynch, to a casual wrestling fan, nobody knows.
I don't think anyone's disputing that. It's not
Charlotte.
disputable. You're correct.
Charlotte Flair. When you say Charlotte or Charlotte Flair, she has bigger recognition, bigger name value. And that was always what's going to happen. It was unfortunate that it can't be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, but on a marquee, on an absolute nameplate saying Flair versus Rousey, more people are going to corral in versus Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. And yes, you're all hardcore fans, and I appreciate that because I want it as well. But the unfortunate truth is Charlotte sells more tickets to the casual fan. And Becky Lynch was never figured into this. Because of who she is and how hard she works and how much the fans love her, they changed what the main event was going to be. She was never even supposed to be in it, but because she's super hot fire, by the way, go to prowrestlingtees.com/jobberknocker to pick up your Jobberknocker t-shirts. Just saying, super hot fire is pretty awesome. But look, the thing is folks, you gotta realize that you can want something so bad, you're not gonna get exactly what you want. They're going to give you what you want, the end result, but they are not gonna give you everything there. Becky Lynch is not going to go anywhere. She is going to the main event of WrestleMania. We know that. So just buck up. You're going to get what you want. I know you're upset because you want it now. I want it the way I wanted it. Well, guess what? Life's tough. Get a fucking helmet.
All right. So here's the thing about this. I don't have a problem with the triple threat. Never have. To me, I said these are my top 2 matches at WrestleMania. Becky versus Rousey, one-on-one. I think it'd be enough. It would be my number 1. My number 2 choice would be Becky versus Rousey versus Charlotte. So for me, it doesn't make that big of a difference. God. And honestly, her getting shoehorn Charlotte in, the way they're doing it, the story of that portion of it works.
Makes sense.
Here's the part where they let the dolphin and where it fucking sucks.
Don't say let the dolphin.
This is where it sucks. The Becky storyline this week of her getting cleared and having her have to apologize for it was fucking horrible. That was a dumb decision. Once again, I kind of didn't go as hard on her tapping out to Asuka because I'm like, they have plenty of time to rebuild it. We're not going to remember it. But then you can't follow up her tapping out clean to Asuka to this shit, making her look weak, having to go and just be like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. You could have, if you want to do this angle, you could have just kept doing it she's not cleared. She's injured. We're replacing it with Charlotte because Vince is like, you're not cleared yet. I need to start the promotions now. So you're out. Charlotte's in. But this whole crap of just damaging Becky along the way, dumb.
None of it's gonna matter. None of it's gonna matter. Unfortunately,
I don't think it does matter for Becky because they're cooling her off, which is
here's the thing.
Dumb.
Here's the thing that nobody really wants to think about is the fact that Ronda Rousey needs to be a babyface-ish. She needs to be something
and that's
around
why Charlotte's
that. That's why Charlotte's
but
in
you
it.
don't need to murder Becky along the way.
You're not murdering anybody because they're
doing a pretty good job
you're
of
turning
it.
You're turning it up to 11 on this one, and that's fine. But that's your opinion. And so look,
it's most people's opinion.
That's fine. I don't care, and you're all wrong. But the issue is quite frankly that she's in there for a reason, and in that. So look,
one's arguing. I'm not arguing about Charlotte though.
No.
I don't know why. Because I'm arguing that they literally have her clap out clean to Becky, and then they go in at Becky. They pull the shit with her apologizing. It's damaging Becky. There's nothing to do with Charlotte. Charlotte should be in this. Because I agree. Rousey, they want to get the heat off Rousey and put it on to Charlotte. That's smart. Charlotte's the best heel in the biz. That's perfect. But you don't need to do drag Becky the way they're doing it. The story that they're having with Becky is bad. The end result is going to be fine, but the story is bad along the way, so it's damaging it.
If you had her just say she wasn't able to compete at WrestleMania or that she wasn't cleared yet, and having that, you wouldn't have gotten the screw job feel of what you got on Monday. Now, I agree with partially what you said, but you have to look at it from a different perspective in terms of, look, she's going to get screwed. She has to be the super underdog in a situation. If she was not cleared, that's It is what it is. You've seen that before.
She's going to be cleared by WrestleMania, but he'd be like, look, you're not cleared now. I need my person now. And you've proven that, you got injured at Survivor Series, so you don't deserve this. I can't rely on you. Because that's always a big thing with Vince is he drops pushes when people gets injured. So you could literally use that as a storyline being like, I don't have faith in you. So even though you earned it, screw it. And it would work the same instead of making her look like a fucking weak-ass little bitch having to apologize.
She had to apologize because she wanted to keep her job. She had to.
But that didn't need to be a storyline. Don't even have the apology thing. The apology thing is dumb. It's dumb. Triple H thing, we need an apology. No, that's dumb. Delete that completely from the writing. Don't do that. The thing was, Becky, you need to get cleared. So you do that storyline. You don't need to add in like, oh, okay, I guess you got cleared. Now we just need an apology. No, that's dumb. I'm not a fucking 5-year-old. You don't write this for 5-year-olds. That's a bad story.
But you got to look at it this way, right?
No, it's a bad story.
Listen, it is. It's not great, but you got to look at it from, we already have it. We can't go back and change it. We can't, right? We're stuck with what we have.
Well, that's a lot of things, but that's why we're doing this podcast.
Right, exactly. But look, you look at it like this way. So she does the apology, but here's the added spin to it, is that you thought that Triple H and Stephanie were going to screw her. She kept saying you were going to screw her. Screw her, screw her, screw her. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And then, of course, all it took was the old man to come out and screw her.
Yes.
That's what it was. They were probably looking at it from this perspective. And again, I don't agree with it 100%, but I look at it a lot differently than everybody else because I go, it makes sense to me because if Vince McMahon is interjecting himself with somebody, they're automatically, from now on, we're not worried about Triple H and Stephanie, which, by the way, they do a good job. But you got to look at it this way. They aren't the fire and gasoline connection. Vince McMahon and anybody else against Vince McMahon is going to blow up. And I'm telling you right now, here's the bonus hope. I don't even know if you had this, but this is going to be mine. I'm going to blow it. They've advertised 2 weeks from now, Ric Flair is going to be 70. And you goddamn better expect that Becky Lynch is rolling in on a trash truck or some type of hose vehicle, and she is going to obliterate everybody in that ring, and it's going to be insane. If they don't,
that would help.
If I'm telling you right now, if they don't do that, then I'm on board with you, and then I will trash this entire show. I'm going to trash that show, not this show, because this show's
unfortunately,
awesome.
all I have right now is to react to what I've seen.
Sure.
And the last few weeks for Becky has not been good for Becky. And again, like, if they're trying to break her down to build her up again, that's fine but you don't have the way they're doing it is so fucking weak.
Here's the thing that nobody wants to realize too is they've done stuff like this to Austin, and it was he did how many times did Austin get fired? How many times did Austin get screwed? They're using a similar template to make this work. I don't agree with how they did it.
It was never like this though, like this childish type thing, like apologize or he taps out clean to a champion who hasn't fucking been on TV since, by the way, which is another embarrassing thing. So,
that's their own problem.
Because the only reason I kind of at the time poo-pooed the fucking tap out thing, which was fucking egregious, but I poo-pooed it is because Asuka fucking needed this.
Mm-hmm.
But so you give that to Asuka, and then she literally isn't on television for 3 weeks. That literally did nothing for anyone then except for weaken Becky. Because Asuka's momentum is gone because she hasn't existed. They had one package for her. She hasn't been seen on screen since then.
Sure.
So how is she supposed to grab that momentum? So you literally did that for nothing except for to just fucking weaken Becky and maybe be like, look, no matter how big you get, you're not bigger than the E, bitch.
Nobody
what the
is.
fuck?
Nobody's
I know,
going to be.
but Jesus Christ, it's bad. That's bad.
I don't disagree with you, but what I am saying is look, nobody's big. They have learned from their mistakes, the WWE,
yeah.
and now nobody, not even Roman Reigns, nobody will ever be bigger than the E. Nobody. John Cena might be the last one that came close. So for you to think that they're going to treat Becky like that is not going to happen. They're going to put her back in line, but I'm telling you right now.
But the problem I have with it, again, is that if you're going to transfer that, mojo from Becky to someone else, that someone else needs to take advantage of it and not be invisible for 3 fucking weeks.
That's a fumble.
Instead, you took that fucking mojo, that fire that was in your hand, that was lighting it up, that was fucking great, and you fucking doused water on it, threw it in the trash, put it in a fucking compactor, and shot it to the fucking moon so no one could ever see it again.
You're wrong.
Fucking horrible. I'm correct.
I just wanted to upset you. I know. Look,
it's bad.
No, look, I get it, but the truth is that Vince McMahon is a better person to have you get screwed by than Triple H or Stephanie.
I agree,
and that's why it's going to work.
I'm not arguing.
It's going to work.
I'm not. There's
We're
nothing
not gonna care
about Charlotte. I'm arguing.
We're not going to care. I'm telling you right now.
If they continue this track record of weakness, we'll care.
She is going to get the Braun Strowman production treatment. She is going to get everything back.
So she's not winning the title.
Exactly. So she's going to end up getting the money makers. She's going to have a beer truck. Whatever they can find to make Becky, it'll work from now to WrestleMania. And then when she wins, everybody's going to stop complaining because she's going to win. That's it.
Well,
that's it.
Becky's
winning.
I
and
hope
that's
so.
It.
But you know what? You brought up the biggest point that the people have, and that is Braun Strowman. They literally gave this man the world, but they didn't give him the fucking title. He took one F5, and that was it.
Well, I'm telling you right now, look.
One F5, Adam, and that was it.
Listen, he also got hit from behind. He got hit from behind.
Just saying.
He got hit from behind.
That's not a good model. It's their last track record of having someone who was on top of the fucking mountain, blowing fire in flames, volcanoes everywhere. Yeah. That's how they did it. So people have the right to be concerned.
Well, again, they can be concerned, but the end result's going to be the same.
You're just a troll.
I'm not a troll.
Yeah,
Welcome to Nestle's Troll House. That's exactly what it is. No, look, all right, we've spent enough time on this. Let's move on to the rest of this podunk piece of shit.
Some heat I have. The Samoan Slaughterhouse.
Listen.
Not great, Bob.
I wanted a steak after that.
Oh,
I wanted a steak so badly. Slaughterhouse.
Who thought that was a good idea? And then, our boy Joe kind of said to me on Twitter, and I was like, I don't know if I want to bring it up, but having the word slaughter with a snuka probably isn't the greatest decision that you can make either.
It made me kind of cringe, but again, they use that Samoan thing very much. Here's the thing yesterday that I don't know if anybody else caught. So they replayed all the interviews.
Oh, God.
Right?
Her kind of to me.
Yeah. Nicole was half watching, and she's like, is she trying to get a word in? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why would they air that? Are they, trying to make that a thing where it's like, shut up, don't talk, I'm doing my thing?
Maybe they plan on breaking them up fast or something, because it was like, I feel like that's not a mistake.
Sure.
It can't be, because if not, you'd be like, where are we taping this? This is uncomfortable. Because it was uncomfortable to watch.
She wasn't, trying to be anything special. It was just like, wait, and then to me it just steamrolled her through that 2-minute segment. I was just like, oh, good God. So I'm not looking forward to anything else talking. Just get me to the chamber already. Just get me to the chamber and I'll be happy. There's so much more on this show. Oh my God. Let's talk about Kalisto.
Oh my God. Just the entire episode. You want to talk about Kalisto?
I do quick heats, but do we really want to? I don't know.
The Lucha House loser. You talk about a guy that just has, you're taking one of your most overacts. One people love, thing that people look forward to. And first of all, it looked like a mistake. We have him getting cut off by packages and whatever. And then it's like, okay, then you're sending out Kalisto in the Lucha House losers?
Yeah. It was rough. It was really rough because then I was like, oh, cool, like a little spot where he could actually play. I thought that was ingenious. I thought they worked that in fine. And then, of course, Elias got jealous and hit him with the guitar. That I was looking at it going, why is that guitar there? Are they going to give it to Kalisto? No. Okay, so clearly that one's going to be the exploding guitar. Then, of course, he ran away, which I'm fine with. But then you look at it and you go, Elias versus Lucha House Party. That'll put butts in the seats.
Yeah.
That'll make me happy. That is a 32X job if I've ever seen it before. Yep. It really is. And so I was just like, ugh, vomit face. Ugh.
Yep.
Okay. Then it translates into, let's get this, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, which again is what it is. And then, so Bobby Lashley doesn't really say anything. He comes stomping out. And then, of course, Finn and Mac have another fucking run.
Oh, but it got worse. I would have been fine with that.
Here we go.
Because no. They got to do your favorite thing in the world.
Oh, my God.
Let's send out the cavalry.
Oh,
and
no.
You know what? Let's have a brawl. But we're not going to end it there. Because, we want to waste an
I
hour
think I'm
of Raw.
physically ill.
6-man tag team match. Holla.
My skin is itching right now. I'm a 6-man. What was it? The hashtag 6-man tag fever or something like that.
I don't know.
It was so bad. It was just we've been on this program constantly. We put out teases before on this program talking about why 6-man tags don't work. I can't do it anymore. I really can't. I'm telling you, as an actual viewer of every program the WWE does, every single time, whether it's male or female, it does not matter. From now on, I am literally every single time going to fast forward if I can.
Yeah.
Every single time. It's not worth it.
But you know what else got worse? Lashley pins Finn, but his foot was on the rope. But the referee's decision is final. Not today. Today we're changing the rules. Another ref's going to come out, and they restart this match that we didn't want.
This was rough, especially where they've been giving no credibility to the referees anyway. But you get there and you do that, and I'm like, oh, this has to continue. I literally, this is exactly what happened, right? I watched it. I saw the referee come out because I was like, oh God, I thought I could slow this down, and I just went. They're restarting the match. I leaned back in my chair and I just went, end it, fucking end it, because it was too much for me. It was way too much. Way too much. It was bad. It was very, very bad.
It wasn't great. And this is another point, because last week they went out of their way to tease some undercard stuff to help fill out Raw. Like, you had the Dana Brooke Natty backstage
which
segment.
never happened.
Never happened. You had Apollo going face-to-face with Razor and challenging each other to a match for this week.
Never
happened. So there you go. You have two, 5 to 10 minute segments that you could have had instead of this long, useless segment, that at least would have been something different for the show. But instead, they're like, oh, well, they're not on Chamber, so they'll just pretend like we don't exist. That's part of the flaw with these go-home shows. It's just because it's a go-home show, it doesn't have to be all like Chamber stuff. Some of that stuff can be done simply with like a backstage promo.
Sure.
Because you know what? It's already set to go. Give us some things to make us care about these shows. And oh, by the way, then you have some little oomph for post-shows.
Sure.
For the next coming weeks. And you're not like losing these characters where it's just the same people every week. It's variety. Give it to us. You had an opportunity. Would we have cared about those two matches that much? No, but it would have been a great way to feature Apollo. Give Dana Brooke a chance to wrestle with someone, which we never really get to see how much if she's improved, if at all. But it's just like, nope. Got to do this instead.
And then, of course, just let's keep this terrible train rolling. And we get to the next part, which, again, no, I can't defend it. Never mind. Nikki versus Ruby. And, of course, we're trying to put an emphasis on how good Ruby Riott is. Yet in the middle of it, we go picture in picture.
Yep.
So a backstage segment with will they, won't they, suck it up, Rhonda, suck it up now, because here's Rhonda saying, be a good person, suck it up, because it's bigger than you and bigger than me, Becky. Just keep doing it. And then, of course, we're trying to have a match that's going on that is for a reason to make a person more legitimate for a person who can't lose. And yet there's them. They're just talking over it.
And that's the flaw, is why is Ronda Rousey, if we're so focused on this WrestleMania match, why is she defending the title on Sunday against Ruby Riott?
Ugh.
Like, literally, first of all, like, this feud got fast forward. It was like, oh, Ronda tapped out Liv and Sarah, and Ruby didn't want to do it yet.
Right.
They just booked the match without any story, like, over the weekend.
Exactly.
And now it's just like we have this. Ruby and Ronda don't even, like, get near each other this week because it's all about Ronda and Charlie and Becky and all that. And it's just like Ruby's like, oh, we're just going to have a wrestle Nikki Cross in a match that literally doesn't matter. And then we're just going to tell you that it doesn't matter by having a picture-in-picture. Like, everything about this was flawed. Ugh. It was horrible. It was useless. Did nothing for anybody. Thank you. Next.
And then here comes another head-scratcher that I thought was kind of whatever. Seth Rollins cuts a promo. And, again, fine promo. Exciting, not
Whatever.
much, but here comes Paul Heyman and, introduces nobody, and then comes back and says something about a spoiler alert, which, again, very formulaic, but it was fine.
It's a typical
It is.
promo.
It's a you could have subbed. Yeah, you could have subbed it in for something else.
Just switch out the names.
Yeah, it'd have been fine. So here we are. We get that. Here's the head scratcher, though. Dean Ambrose comes out and says, slay the beast. That's it. Slay the beast, and then sits down, and it's like, huh? What?
Yeah.
And then I look at that and go, what are we doing?
So
what is
like,
this?
These guys like hate each other. Seth closed the book with Dean by beating him. So like when they did the interaction, I'm like, okay, this is weird. Why are we reopening this book?
Sure.
And I'm like, maybe he's just gonna come out and like wish him luck or something. And he pretty much did.
Yeah.
But he was just like, slay the beast. And it was like, okay, I didn't really need that. But okay, it's there. And then, we 50-50 book it, and he beats EC3, so we can have a rubber match, and because WWE just everyone gets a win. You get a win. You get a win. We all get wins except for Kurt Hawkins.
Ray pointed out that the camera crew and the production crew really tanked the EC3 entrance, which was whatever. It is what it is.
It hasn't. They've struggled with some of the. Yeah.
The newer stuff, they haven't really done it down, but whatever, it's fine.
Because they always, like NXT and everything in TNA, when he does the spin with the look, it's like goes to the tight cam, so he's looking right into the camera. Instead, they were still in the wide shot, so it's just like,
they weren't ready for it.
Weak.
There were a couple of fumbles and bumbles this week, especially production-wise, where I was like,
But I do say, him singing along to his entrance song in every entrance is fucking hilarious. I just love seeing it. It's just like, you can tell, it's like, I love it, top 1%. Woo! I'm just like, this is fucking hilarious.
He's something.
The guy there's something about him where I just want to watch him because he's got that like mix of like funny, but I can take him seriously at the same time. Yeah. I like it. I'm excited. I just don't want them to fuck him up because there's so much potential there.
They will. And of course, like just at the very end here, as we wrap this entire turd burglar bow present motherfucking thing, I don't know. Look, they have another Becky promo. She had, whatever. It's fine with Bliss, and it's just, I look at it and go, oh my God, we're not just beating a dead horse.
Yeah, we're assassinating her character.
We're taking her out again, shooting her, bringing her back to life, and shooting her again, and then again, and then again. It's just, we get it that she's very, very polarizing, and people love her, but I'm looking at it going, why would you put her in every segment like that? Like, you don't need to do that. You really don't. What you could have accomplished in this entire thing would have been having her walk down the aisle, walk down backstage in the hallway and have people stop her and try to get in her head instead of having like multiple things, like having Finn Balor, then Ronda Rousey.
I thought the Finn one was the only one that worked because it was like that's like the one who trained her. Like they have that relationship. I thought it was a nice call to that, and like someone like she was looking for advice. If I would believe if I was her that is who I would go to for advice. And, I thought that was fine. But then they just, everything with Becky this week, they just overdid it. They made nothing good happened with Becky this week. It was bad. Bad, Adam.
I am bad.
Yeah, we know
I'm
that.
terrible.
Do you have
I
any
think
more
that's
hate?
it.
'Cause I'm
I think that's
exhausted
it.
by this uselessness.
I'm just done.
I want a hope. Give me a good hope here. I'm ready for it.
You're not going to like my hope, so this is not good.
Oh,
so the one thing I was nitpicking, obviously, because I'm nitpicking Nestle, but I was sitting there and watching, and something that really rang true to me, I was watching Seth Rollins' promo very, very, very closely and dissecting everything. And, of course, him and Heyman are going back and forth, and he said he's going to make sure that he takes the Universal title by any means necessary. And all I thought about was, what the fuck does that mean, right? What is he going to do? And then he said this line that I was like, this is what's going to happen. Here's the hope for the week, folks. He said, I don't care if I have to make a deal with the devil. I will get the Universal Championship.
Oh, no.
So Seth Rollins is going to turn into the next Paul Heyman guy, and they are going to screw Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And that is how Brock Lesnar loses the Universal Championship, and Brock Lesnar goes off bye-byes, and now Seth Rollins will now have a mouthpiece in Paul Heyman. That's going to happen.
How many times have we heard this point?
I don't know. But I heard it, and I was just like, When you
said deal with the devil, I was like, oh, God, you think Kane's going to help him again in J&J Security?
No,
We're just rerunning that, bringing that back, recue that storyline.
Yeah. No, look, I look at it and go, it's probably not going to happen. But my hope is kind of like, I really do hope, because he's phenomenal in the ring. Like, every once in a while, he has a very passionate promo. Like that WrestleMania thing, I wanted to point at the sign and tear up. That was cool. But more often than not, it's like, he's out there for a reason because everybody loves him and burn it down. But he was such a sniveling little shit anyway that if he had Paul Heyman backing him up and like saying how great he is, it always works better with the heel champion anyway. I was like, you know what? He's been a babyface for like 2 years-ish. And I'd be all right because that's where the money is for him. And he doesn't need to be a babyface champion, so I'm okay with it. I think Heyman could help him. There you go. The end. Hope. Done.
Not really what I was hoping for. Kind of let me down. But my hope will bring tears of joy to your eyes.
I'm hoping.
Because one thing that did happen on Raw was we got a Kevin Owens update promo of him at a bowling alley.
Which he total gutterball.
It was perfect. I was like, if he doesn't gutterball this, then I'm going to be pissed off. And he went over and he did it, and I was like, yes. But it also got me thinking, it's like, they're not portraying Kevin Owens like this by mistake. Because I assumed he'd come back as like the badass heel that he was, whatever. They're clearly not doing that, judging by what I saw with this promo. It appears that they're going to bring him back as a babyface because they know when he comes back, he's going to be one of the most over guys in the show. People love him. So no matter what they do, he's going to be universally cheered. People want him. People want him to be in a big spot. So I was like, well, even though these promos are on Raw, there's a lot of murkiness going on with the titles on SmackDown. Because you're looking at it, it's like Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. Good God, if that's at Mania, just stick a knife through my heart. It's like... Daniel Bryan, Miz, probably not happening for me. And then I'm looking at what else. It's like Daniel Bryan's a heel, so Samoa Joe, Randy Orton are probably out. Like Mustafa Ali at Mania, no. So who is going to be the one? Like the only other one that really came to mind was like John Cena. And I'm like, I just don't know if they're going to do that this year. So I was like, you know what? If they're serious with this Kevin Owens babyface character, what better match would there be at WrestleMania than to have Daniel Bryan against Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship? And not only just that, Kevin Owens kind of represents everything Daniel Bryan hates, and they could really expound upon that even more and make it like a thing with him just being wasteful and not caring. And granted, he has lost some weight and looks great, but Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens likes junk food. That's not a mystery.
Yeah.
So it organically would work. These two guys' chemistry would work. Kevin Owens is just so likable, would work. Even though him as a babyface is not my biggest choice, but if that's what they're going with, I think this might be my ideal match for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania and the feud I'm looking for. So hashtag JC's hopes come true. Hashtag JC knows. Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania.
I don't like that at all.
It's way better than your hope.
Well, yeah, obviously.
How do you not like that? You don't like Kevin Owens? Wow.
No, I do like Kevin Owens, but I enjoy Kevin Owens as a heel.
Yes, but as I said, if they're not going to bring him back as a heel,
if
they're forcing us as a babyface, then put him in the top spot against your best heel.
We already did the fat and like trans fat and all the other crap that you do. We already did that. We already did that.
There are so many more things you could do with Kevin Owens.
If he comes out in a stretch Hummer, fine. I'm okay with that, but that's fine. Like, wasteful, whatever. Not whatever it is, but it is.
Why? Who do you want Daniel Bryan to face at WrestleMania?
McMiz would be nice.
Yeah, but it's not happening.
No, I know. I think I'd.
That was all the qualifiers I put in this hope. It's either Kevin Owens or John Cena, pretty much. Unless if there's just someone else you want to be like, Kofi Kingston.
So let's think about that for a second. Would you care about? Because
they're
middle of the card.
But I don't think they're doing that.
They're middle of the card anyway. WWE Championship is going to be middle of WrestleMania. It's going to be hour 4
for a long time.
It's going to be hour 4.
It's been that way for a very long time.
It's unfortunate. Again, too many belts.
Well,
they have
2 world titles. You have to pick one, and the one that Brock Lesnar holds, they think means more.
And the women's championship will be the one main eventing, so it doesn't really matter where any of these things go.
Because you have Rowdy Ronda Rousey. So.
Sure. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter where any of these things go anymore.
It's co-main events, Adam.
Oh, yeah, co-main events. They get paid like that? I doubt it.
What's your comeback, bitch?
Wow, that was unnecessary. I'm giving my comeback this week to one Kofi Kingston because he boom dropped right into my heart and into my soul, and he proved once again, even though we screwed up years ago with Randy Orton and forgot how to do everything, I appreciated it because it was nice to be reminded, hey, here's a guy who has a lot of value. Doing Boston proud, by the way. BC, what up? And just look, he's a very, very athletic gentleman. Check. But he's also very charismatic. Check. And, not for nothing, but it would be nice if the WWE, I don't know, had a black champion. Just throwing that out there, folks. It'd be nice.
With that title, yeah.
It'd be nice because guess what? They don't do it enough because there's clearly enough black athletes in the WWE that deserve it. There's plenty of them. But God damn it. If you know what? If you had Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan based on that one thing where he's like, I've been here 11 years and I've never had da-da-da, I would buy that. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Pancakes? Daniel Bryan.
No. If he's fighting for the WWE Championship, those pancakes need to be far away from it. No more fucking pancakes.
You want to talk about
no more pancakes? Ban pancakes.
You want Kevin Owens to talk about junk food, but you don't want to talk about pancakes.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yes,
it's the exact same thing.
No, it does not.
It is. It's the exact same.
It does not.
They're both terrible things for you.
I want Kevin Owens to be
delicious,
wasteful. Overall, wasteful. What they do with it,
boy,
that's their job. They're creative. They get paid for it. I don't. You want my ideas, WWE? Start fucking paying me. Don't steal them off this damn podcast.
All right, so Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35. That'd be fantastic. That's what I want. What's your comeback this week?
Clearly, yeah. How could it not be the actual greatest tag team on the planet? Sorry,
boy.
McMiz. The Revival. They revived that 3rd hour of Raw from literal death and at least gave it a pulse. Had a very good match. Won the championships. And now finally.
Literal death.
Finally. We have a legit tag team at the top of that division, which that division so desperately needs. So say yeah, they get my comeback because they're studs.
They are studs. Anyway, let's talk about something that will not be studly this Sunday, Elimination Chamber.
I think it'll actually be a good show.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, Elimination Chamber matches, I think, are overall fun.
It looks like a play school set now, though.
The problem
very
is
much
the
different.
placement of the year that they put these.
Mm-hmm.
This wouldn't be as big of a deal. It's just like, if they pretty much book this as like, especially because they have 1 million titles now, be like, okay, well, we know that Ronda and Brock are defending their titles, but we don't have whatever for the others. Just make these number 1 contender matches. It would be a lot better, but whatever. We don't have it. The tag team thing works for this year. I think that's a nice touch. But yeah, we have 7 booked matches, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll need to add another with the 2 chamber matches, but maybe they will.
Okay. Let's start the predictions.
On the pre-show, I would assume, is the Cruiserweight Championship, where the champion, Butemefe, defends against Akira Tozawa.
Is anybody watching?
I mean, these matches are always good.
They're good, but is anybody watching? I feel so bad for these 205 guys. I really do.
I don't, because they're getting a good paycheck. They get their own show. Like, enough people watch. People care. I like Buddy Murphy. Give me the Murph.
Buddy is winning because Buddy's the only one in that division, in my opinion, at this point.
Wow, way to just troll over your boy Leo Rush.
Man of the hour. He's too busy on Raw. Too busy yakking away. Let's go on to the next one.
In a match that I don't know why it's happening, but just, I guess, to get them on the show, is a singles match between Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
Woof.
I mean, I'm assuming this is just a way for Strowman to win a match.
Braun, give me Braun. Give me Braun.
The Mac isn't booked, so I'm sure he'll get himself involved, which means Corbin could actually win. But, I'll take Braun.
I am the Thunder. Whatever that thing is.
Yeah. And then another head scratcher on this card is the Intercontinental Championship match.
Yeah, I saw this one.
Is a fucking handicap match. Why? How does this benefit Bobby?
Finn Balor
can beat little baby Leo
he's going to
win the IC title.
Give me abs of abs. I'm going Finn Balor becomes your new IC champion.
I hope you're right, but I think Lashley wins.
Okay.
Lashley. Because I think it would just Lashley's going to come out of nowhere and spear him or some stupid shit.
You don't seem very high on this one, even though you love abs of Balor.
It's just a handicap match. It makes no fucking sense. It's a singles title. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, he can beat the little guy. He can't beat the big guy.
It's dumb. Dumb. Whoever booked
You're probably right.
should be shot.
You know what? I want to change it, but I'm not going to because I know that's probably a lose for me. That's fine. Let's move on.
This tag team match, the way they're wording this is weird. So I'm going to say the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between McMiz, the champions, the Miz and Shane McMahon, against the Usos, made up of Jimmy and Jay Uso. Who you got?
Give me McMiz by some chicanery.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. I think the Usos will get these titles, but I think we might have to get in the fast lane for that to happen.
Knife in the fast lane.
So yeah, McMiz.
McMiz. Nobody beats the McMiz. Nobody.
And the last non-chamber match on the card is a singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship, where I have no idea this is a useless match as well. The champion Ronda Rousey defends against Ruby Riott and beats her with an armbar, which probably will be a very good contest and a good wrestling match because Ronda has proven that she can wrestle well. We know Ruby's great, so, but yeah, it doesn't matter.
Before we begin the chamber, I pick Ronda and you pick Ronda, but before we get to the next part of this, it's something that very much bothers me. You just sat here and said, this could be really good, yet you have not sold this to me at all. Buddy Murphy and Tozawa, whatever, it is what it is.
Well, that's the thing.
Braun Strowman, but let's look at all these matches.
No. How many times do we say it where the build-up sucks, but then the actual wrestling is good? But it's just
this isn't going to be memorable at all. None of it is going to be. None of this until we get to the chamber is going to be memorable at all. None of it.
Yeah, but the two chamber matches enough to make me care about the pay-per-view. It's like the Royal Rumble. It's like they could put shit on it, and as long as the Rumbles are good, no one cares.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Gimmick matches, bro. It's all about it's like Money in the Bank. Do you remember any single matches ever on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view besides Cena Punk? Probably not.
I do, but that's fine. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So I might remember some of these.
Okay.
So just because you don't remember that,
you're just not selling the pay-per-view.
Because there's not much to sell here. None of these feuds are good. The matches will probably all pretty much be good.
Set the bar an awful lot lower. That's all I'm asking.
That's what I did. I said I expect to be a good pay-per-view, but these matches suck.
I don't know.
This isn't your first rodeo. I don't understand your misconception here.
Let's get to the chamber matches
You're
then.
Let's just nestle troll today. Tag Team Elimination Chamber match for the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Nia Jax and Tamina take on the Riot Squad of Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Fire and Desire, the Iconics, Billy and Peyton, Bayley and Sasha, Naomi and Carmella, who actually won a tag team match for some odd reason. So we know that Sasha and Bayley are starting along with Fire and Desire. So, Adam, not only who you got, but let's go with some order here because that's always fun.
Jesus Christ. All right, here's...
So you can start
I forgot the order.
You can eliminate people first, or you can pick a winner and work backwards.
All right, I guess I'll try to do this backwards. This is really hard for me. All right, so the first team out clearly is going to be Naomi and what's her face?
Probably not.
What's her puss?
Whoa,
Carmella. And then of course after that, what do we got? We're going to do Riot Squad.
Wow, no love for your girls.
No, I love them, but they're out of this one. And then, of course, we're going to get down to, let's see. The Iconics are going to lose next.
It's a damn shame.
Yep, everybody hates me. Then we're down to 3 teams.
We are.
And here's the kicker here.
Slaughterhouse?
Hold on. The Iconics lose. I'm trying to figure out. So then Fire and Desire lose. Sorry, Josh. I know why you're going to say I'm wrong anyway. It doesn't really matter. This is my pick. And then we get down to the Boston Hug Connection against Tamina, and Nia. And here's the kicker. Nia and Tamina beat the Boss and Hug Connection to a thunderous boo. thunderous boo and have the baby faces chase all the way to WrestleMania because Nia has to be on that card somewhere in their mind.
Dean Ambrose.
Sure, but I'm telling you right now, you guys want Fire and Desire. You want the Boston Hug. I'm telling you right now.
I think most people want the Iconics.
Sure, or the Iconics. All three would be great. And if they do win, fantastic. I would be so happy. But I have this feeling that Nia and Tamina are going to win, and everybody is going to pick up their television and throw it. And that's the reaction they're going to want. So I'm going to go with Boston Hug is eliminated next, and we have the Samoan Slaughterhouse as the very first women's tag team champions.
Well, you're right about one thing. The baby faces will be chasing the Mania, but it's not going to be chasing the Slaughterhouse. So the first team eliminated is going to be Nia Jax and Tamina.
Okay.
Yeah. Get out. They're going to come in, and they're out. Then the Riot Squad.
Okay.
Then Naomi and Carmella, because they always seem to like the useless teams last a little bit. So now that those three are out, let's get to the nitty-gritty. The three teams we all care about, because I'm JC of the people, and I know what the people want. And WWE says the people get what they want, So I'm going to believe them. So we have the Iconics, Fire and Desire, and the Boston Hug Connection. Out next is the Iconics.
Okay.
And it's going to come down to the two teams that started it. Fire and Desire and the Boston Hug Connection. And you know what? Mandy and Sonya pick up the win and become the first ever women's tag team champions.
Okay.
And it sets up a feud for WrestleMania. It's going to be great. It's going to be super hot fire. But we have one more match.
We do.
One more match. And that is the Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship, where we now know that Randy Orton will come out last, but also featured our Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and the champion, Daniel Bryan. So, Adam?
Yep.
Would you like me to go first on this one, or would you like to?
I guess I'll go again because I'm always ready.
Willie and Gable?
Yeah. The winner of this match clearly is going to be Daniel Bryan.
Clearly, he says.
Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan. I'm going to go backwards this time to really confuse
I love how
everybody.
he's writing that I picked Daniel Bryan.
You're going to, because you're not stupid. I know you're going to do that. Daniel Bryan. And he's going to go the distance with the new marathon man at the very end, Kofi Kingston. Try to make a believer out of everybody.
Wow.
Holy crap, Kofi Kingston.
Are they going to start the match?
I don't
Again?
think so. I don't think so. So yeah, Kofi Kingston will be the last person in. So let's go backwards here. So who else is in this match?
Orton, Joe,
okay, so
Hardy.
Jeff, I'm going to screw this all up. Jeff Hardy's going to get out first.
That sounds like a hope.
Jeff Hardy, please, for the love of God, just get him out of there. Jeff Hardy's out first. Then we have, who else is in this match? Okay, so Samoa Joe will be next.
Wow.
Yep, because he's Samoa Joe and nobody cares.
Wow.
Let's see.
You got Orton and AJ.
So AJ will be out next.
Wow.
And then RKO, and then Kof.
All right. Well, so the first person out, I agree, is going to be Jeff Hardy, but I think he's going to start the match with Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe's going to eliminate him before anyone else gets in the match.
Okay.
And out comes, it can't be Randy Orton. Out comes AJ Styles, and the brawl begins, and those two are just going to go at it. Then out comes Kofi Kingston, and the next person eliminated will be, I think Samoa Joe and Randy are going to get themselves out once everyone comes in. So Joe next, then Orton, and that leaves us with a final three of Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Mr. SOS, SOS Sia, because I still feel like at Fastlane we're getting Daniel Bryan and AJ. AJ is going to get screwed by Rowan or someone else joining them, and Daniel Bryan will retain his title. Maybe Luke Harper comes and joins, and we have the Wyatt Daniel family, or they do someone else, or just Rowan like pulls a cane and crawls out of the fucking cage or some fucking bullshit.
Okay. There you have it.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens.
Sustainable victory for Daniel Bryan.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yes. That's right. Recycle, folks. Recycle. I think that's pretty much it.
I can't believe you picked Nia and Tamina.
You
are such a troll.
I am not a troll.
You don't even believe it's going to happen.
Listen,
you just want it to happen because you want everyone to cry. Like, that's why you love Monday so much. Poor God. Billy in our group is having a breakdown about this, and you're just gaslighting him. Billy is literally in his emotions, and Nestle is just sitting there, like, holding a fucking blowtorch to us. Billy has covered himself in gasoline, and Nestle's just sitting there maniacally laughing.
That's not true. I love Billy.
Nestle probably doesn't even completely believe this, but he's having so much fun just trolling the entire internet. God, you're the worst.
No, I'm not. Look,
no, I'm not.
I'm not. Here's the issue with this, and this is what it comes down to, is that the WWE has become so unpredictable that it's bad sometimes. So I'm not even saying I'm saying this to gaslight anybody. I legitimately have a fear that Nia and Tamina are going to win those tag titles.
When you're predicting it and when you're talking about fear, you're smiling.
Because it's
you
funny.
Love it.
It's funny to me.
You're a psycho.
I am a psycho.
You're a wrestling psychopath.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But God damn it, is this going to be fun. It's going to be so fun because if I'm right, it's a win and I look smart. But if it's a loss, up until they lose, at the very least, it makes everybody sweat. And here's the thing. And that's the thing that I have to go. I have to go out on a limb anyway because that's just who I am. And I know people expect me to. But at the same time, if they get to the final two, you all are going to be sweating.
No, if they get to the final two, I'll be nervous.
I
just think they'll find a way to weirdly eliminate them before that. Probably not first. I just did that because to give you a middle finger, fuck you, Adam. But
it's going to be bad. Listen, I hope you're right. Honestly, I do. But there is a part of me that feels... You
hope Mandy's the first ever tag team champion?
Sure, if that makes you happy. If that makes you happy.
I mean, like I said, there's 3 teams in this match I'd be very happy with.
I just don't see a SmackDown team winning. I really don't. It's unfortunate, but I don't. Not right away, anyway.
I mean, if you want to say Carmella and Naomi aren't going to win, I'm not going to argue that one. I could see them giving it to a team like the Iconics too, because they do that sometimes. Is like they'll give it to the Heath Slater thing they gave it to. They gave us what we wanted in Becky. Like sometimes they do that, but I think we're both on the right side of Sasha and Bayley chasing into WrestleMania because I think it makes sense. But it just depends who's it going to be.
Well, we're going to have to find out on Sunday, just like everybody else, unfortunately.
Yeah.
On that note, I believe it is now time to hit that big old finish button and bring us home for the socialization.
Jobberknocker.com. That's the website where you can find all the links to the podcast. iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Podomatic, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify. Did I get them all?
And we also now archive every episode on YouTube.
Oh, we're also on the BoobTube YouTube. So make sure you go there. So like, subscribe. You can comment and on YouTube as well. So do that. Like, subscribe, comment, download, all that shit. 5 stars, 5 flames. You know what to do. Check out all the staff's predictions for Elimination Chamber on the website. Pro Wrestling Tees, as you mentioned earlier, has Super Hot Fire shirts, Monday Night Rerun shirts, and the classic Jobberknocker shirt. Pick yours up today. Don't wait. Pick it up today. And then Twitter. We have a shit ton of handles. At Jobberknocker, at Nestlemania, at JC of the JK. The rest of the staff, I'll drop them sometimes, just not today because you have to start working in 1 minute.
Yep.
So I need to wrap this up. Facebook Jobberknocker, Instagram Jobberknocker, wherever you want to be on social media. Enjoy Elimination Chamber, folks.
Let's hope that it is actually a watchable pay-per-view. On that note, for Josh, this is Adam saying we'll be back next week with more Jobberknockery.
Some fire and desire, baby.